Kumusta? This is Ken and I'm your host for Metropod, a podcast that brings creative minds together. For the second episode of Metropod, sasamahan tayo ng isang OPM icon and the first Filipino artist to record on CD. Specifically, we'll tackle about how did Joey Albert start her music career? How was pursuing a career in music impacted and shaped her life? How does she view the idea of pursuing music as a full-time profession? And so, let's dive into this episode. For today's episode, meron tayong makakasama ngayon na isang OPM icon, first Filipino artist na nakapag-record on CD. Kilala siya sa mga awitin niyang Ikaw Lang Ang Mamahalin, Tell Me, Kumukuti-Kutitap at marami pang iba. Please welcome our OPM icon, Miss Joey Albert.
Hello, it's so nice to be here.
To start our conversation po, kamusta po muna kayo?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well.
Gusto po naming malaman, even your fans also, gusto naming malaman ulit kung how did you start your career in the music industry?
You know, it was not a deliberate decision to become a singer. Not like the singers nowadays, diba? Parang, I'm gonna be a pop star. Alam na nila yun, diba? But no, it wasn't a deliberate decision. After college, before going to work, I just wanted to sing in a band. Mahilig lang talaga ako to sing in a band. So I joined the New Minstrels. Actually, niligawan nila ako to join them third year high school pa lang, but my mom, strict ang mom, so she didn't allow me. So they said, come back next year when she graduates. So bumalik naman sila. So they came back and mom said, okay, you can join the band for 2 years lang and then you need to get a proper job. Because in the early 80s or late 70s, being a singer was not a proper job. You had to finish college and going and getting a job. A proper job meant working in a bank or something, parang ganun. So I said, okay, sige, 2 years lang. So I sang with the New Minstrels, third generation New Minstrels at the El Camarote. Actually, swerte na kami na by that time may mga 5-star hotels na. So yung mga estudyante katulad ko, we were allowed to sing na kasi dati wala pa masyadong ganun na venues, di ba? So she said, okay, 2 years. That was my limit. And so I joined the band and we would sing 6 nights a week, Monday to Saturday, 3 one-hour sets a night. Ganun ang training sa banda nung araw, ganun yung buhay namin. Yan, anybody in my generation would know that. But it was fun. It was so fun. Ang saya. So doon lang siya nag-umpisa.
Nagmula talaga sa work hard, sa pagiging hardworking.
Sa work hard at saka sa passion. Because even the recording industry yata wasn't that big at that time. So there was no career path to go there na I'll start here tapos maging recording. Wala naman ganun. So it was really just out of passion and having fun and just the love of singing and hard work.
It's a very big part, passion and hard work. So, in an interview po with Rappler, nasabi niyo po dun na yung first album niyo is na-record niyo through Octo Arts.
Yes.
Then after releasing your second song, which is Tell Me, yung sikat na sikat din na kilala pa rin hanggang ngayon, nasabi niyo dun na parang the rest was history. So, can you tell us about that? Nung ni-release yung Tell Me, then biglang, this is Joey Albert.
Before Tell Me came out, I was nearing the 2-year deadline of my mom. And she said, okay. I said, Mom, try ko lang record. One lang. Try my experience lang recording. But when Tell Me became a hit, it was evident I really wanted to stay by the time. So Mommy let me stay for one more album. Actually, it was only after Tell Me I started taking voice lessons because I said, cool, now people are going to pay to hear me sing. I'd better do it right. So I took voice lessons and the recordings continued. Anybody in recording will know there is no formula. There is no formula for a hit song. But it just started coming one after the other. So Tell Me became a hit. Million Miles became a hit. Sunod-sunod na siya. And then It's Over Now became a hit. At that time, I was with Louie Ocampo and we just had a very, very good synergy. He wrote good melodies. I wrote good lyrics. And he had other friends who wrote good lyrics. And at that time, this kind of collaboration was what made the industry. It was really musical minds that made the industry. It wasn't trends. It wasn't what's uso. Wala naman TikTok before. So it was really creative work that filled the industry in the 80s.
Yes, kasi mahirap din po magpa-trend ng song dati since ang mga platform pa lang po nun, di ba? Radio.
But radio was very powerful then. For me, I think the radio was still the better because, now you have 1 million online platforms, right? But sometimes too many options is not a good thing. At that time, it was just a few radio stations, and at that time, there was a mandate, for one OPM song to be played every 15 minutes. And I like the radio better kasi hindi mo naman alam kung yung next song, so talagang kikinig ka for aabangan mo talaga yung song na gusto mo, diba? Ngayon, alam mo na kung anong tutugtog sa playlist. At that time, how we promoted our songs, was with what you call radio tours. And masipag ako mag-radio tour. So every quarter of the year, we'd plan a radio tour. So, the radio stations are always in the tuk-tuk of the buildings in Ortigas Avenue. So, akyat ka sa babaw. And one day, we would go through about maybe 8 radio stations.
Definitely yung 2 years na sinabi sa inyo ng mother nyo na, okay, 2 years lang ha.
I guess after that, she just said, okay, fine.
Because doon talaga nag-spark yung pinaka-progress ng career nyo in the music industry.
Yes.
So in connection to the industry also, in 1989 po, napasama kayo sa isang film ni Dolphy. Which is yung May Pulis sa Ilalim ng Tulay. Can you tell us, paano nyo po nakuha yung role and paano po kayo pumasok from music industry to film industry?
That was because of School Bukul. So I think the pathway was Dream Girl Filipina in 1982, Sabay Tell Me, in order to reach a wider market. I had to be exposed to a wider market. So they put me in School Bukul, which I enjoyed so much. It was so much fun. And syempre, so pag may movie sila, sinasaling pusa nila ako. After 2 movies with them, of that movie of Dolphy invited me. So it was really because of School Bukul.
So naging big part din yung mga films na to. Naging part din siya ng pag-progress din po ng music career niyo, no?
I'm sure it helped.
It helped. Yan, sabi nyo kanina na parang for you to have a hit song, wala talaga siyang ingredient.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Pero sa pagiging artist po, as artist in general, what do you think is the most essential element of being a singer?
Hard work and dedication is very important. During our time, we were mentored by directors. We were watched very closely and taught by directors. We were taught how to stand on stage, how to project. We were taught the disciplines of performances, of performing, our effect on the audience, how we cross the stage proscenium, blocking. We would spend hours blocking before a concert. It was so different before. Our rehearsals for big concerts would start maybe 2 months before. So it was a lot of hard work and dedication, and it was serious work. But talking to people then, they have what they say, this it factor. And I think that should stand up to now also. The ones that succeed have this it factor. The ones that really rise. Then it was, again, no formula. Either you had it or you didn't. But the ones that stay are the ones who work hard and they just keep writing and singing songs and again and again and again and again. They don't give up after one hit. They just keep trying again. Those are the ones that will endure. And endurance is something that I think our generation was blessed to have. And I think that all came from our dedication to our singing at that time. So if you want to endure and last long in this industry, you really have to just keep going, no matter how much or little you think is going to happen. There was a lot of rapport with people. So, there's touch, there's communication, there's relationships with your audience. There's this relationship that grows and they build memories and they last. I mean, even young people, that gets transferred to the young people. So I always see, and I don't get offended when the young people come to me and say, favorite ka ng mommy ko. In fact, natutuwa ako, parang, ay, mabuting nanay, tinuro yung mga kanta ko sa anak niya. Thank you.
So for you to have a hit song or for you to stand out as an artist, the hard work, passion, and yung collaborative effort ng mga artists na kasama nyo sa industriya. So
Yes.
that's what Miss Joey Albert did.
Definitely.
Yeah. So looking at today's music scene, which local artists do you listen po?
I listen to them, especially during COVID. No, maraming
Ang dami po.
lumabas, no. So I listen to all of them. But you know, of all the new ones, the ones that naging aliw na aliw ako. In fact, I watched them when they came to Vancouver's Ben and Ben. I love how they wrote their songs from their hearts. They own their songs. They have their own songs. And I think parang maybe because their songs are a bit reminiscent of the 80s songs also.
Yes.
Right? And maybe that's why na-attract ako sa songs niya. But the fact that they write their own songs, they perform their own songs. You know, I watched them. They look very humble, two little young men. And it was very refreshing to see in this time na may ganon, diba? So their music is wonderful.
As a singer, dun sa mga pinagdaanan nyo po para makuha din yung kasikatan ng mga songs nyo, even napasama pa kayo sa mga pelikula, how do you view the idea of pursuing music as a full-time profession?
Okay, let me backtrack. So in 1995, I left because I had my first cancer and I decided I should leave and take care of my two children. They were 5 and 2. And I figured I had many glorious and wonderful years of the career. So I said, maybe it's time to take care of my family. It was a very painful decision. But you know, when you make a decision like that, you turn your back and you never look back. And I never did. And I was prepared for the fact that I would never sing, perform, or record again. But, you know, I always remember Jose Marichan. When I left for Canada, he was one of the last people I saw, and he said, "Don't worry, Joey, you know, once a singer, always a singer." And that wisdom of Joe Marie, I know, came from his own experience because he left for the States for many years to work in Wall Street. But look at him, he came back and he's still here. So I took those words to heart and hoped that it would be the same. And so I was invited to sing. And in fact, to a certain extent, I said, maybe that's why I'm abroad, because I can now sing to the OFWs and reach them and bring our music to them and bring them home through my music. That became a new advocacy. It becomes a life profession.
It's a life profession.
Yes, so it might not be a career, but it is a life profession. And you just find different venues for it and different meanings and purposes for it.
What advice would you give to aspiring singers and artists in today's music scene?
For singers, I would always tell them that hard work and discipline and humility are the most important. If you want to last long, you have to work hard and stay humble. And my advice to them will be the same advice my mother gave me. Anak, so kung itutuloy mo yan, be good to the people on your way up. Because they're the same people that you're going to meet on your way down. So I guess if you do anything at all with your heart, just keep doing it. And it will lead you to bigger things.